Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to Andrew's Life. I hope everyone's doing great. Hope you guys had a phenomenal weekend. Well, as some of you guys may have realized, I've been putting out videos that have been criticizing uh, the Republican Party a tad bit. Now, some of you are probably wondering who exactly which party am I going to vote for. Now, none of you guys asked me directly which party I'm going to vote for, but just by reading some of your comments, some of you are beginning to wonder which party I'm going to vote for, or which party that I, or which party do I support the most. And I'm going to answer that on this video. Now, the short answer to your question is I don't affiliate myself with the Democrats or the Republicans. I am an independent. Whatever party I feel will best suit my interest as an American taxpayer will be the party that I'm going to vote for. Now, if I don't like what either party has to say, then I have no problem withholding my vote and not voting at all. Because contrary to common belief, you do not have to vote if none of the candidates that are running have anything that you feel will be beneficial to you, or for that matter, the American people. Now, let me explain why I've been criticizing the Democrat Party a little bit. I'm going to try to explain it in a manner that hopefully you guys can understand. Now, when it comes time to vote for whoever you want to be in the White House, or whatever politician that you want to be in power, rather it be your local, your state, or on the federal level. Now, me personally, I look at voting kind of like, because it's like this: your politicians are supposed to work for you, the people. And of course, that goes for every level of politics, whether it be local, state, or federal. When I look at voting for a politician, I kind of treat it like I'm one of the supervisors, or I'm one of the bosses at a particular company. Or two, I might even be the CEO of a particular company. And it is my job to interview and select the right candidate for the position that I have available. And I think every person who votes ought to have that same philosophy when it comes to voting. Obviously, the position available is like this. I'm gonna use the presidential election as an example. So the position that we have available as American people is presidency. So it is our job as American people to do our due diligence and to select the proper candidate to fill that position. Now, unfortunately, the American people, we don't have near the power or flexibility to pick the right candidate as you would if you were to own your own business, as you would if you were working for a company and you were in charge of uh, doing job interviews and making a decision of who you're going to hire and all that type of stuff. But nevertheless, now sometimes as many of you are aware of, you might have to go to multiple interviews for a job. Like a job that pays higher wages, you might have to go to 2 or 3, or I've heard people even say 4 interviews for a job, which I think is a little excessive, but it is what it is. And sometimes when you go to these interviews, the potential employer, for the most part, they like you, and they're considering heavily. I mean, they're heavily considering bringing you aboard. However, before they do, they want to dot their I's and cross their T's and make sure that you're going to be the right candidate for the position. So sometimes, if they really, really like you, they'll give you a few cues to help you along the way. Like, maybe they might point out, well, you need to do this or that and the third better. Or they might say something along the lines of, well, this is what we're looking for if we bring you aboard to work for our company. Maybe during the interview, they've asked you certain questions and you didn't answer those questions properly. Or you didn't provide the answers that they were looking for. And just to help you along the way, they're going to give you some constructive criticism to that way, if they choose to bring you aboard, you'll have a better idea of what it is that they're expecting. As where if they come across an applicant and they look at the person's application or resume and they decide at that point that they're not interested in that person for whatever reason, they're not even going to waste their time. Or two, if they look at that person and they think they may be interested, they'll call that person, have that person come in for an interview. And obviously, they'll start the interview by asking the basic questions to kind of break the ice, so to speak. And if that candidate, I'll just say potential candidate, if they answer the questions poorly, or if the person that's conducting the interview sees anything that they don't like about the applicant or the candidate, whatever you want to call this person, there's a good chance that they're not going to take the time to critique that person. They're not going to take the time to give that person any type of constructive criticism. They're not going to give that person any cues because they have already made a conscious decision amongst themselves that they're not going to hire that individual. And that's basically where I'm at when it comes to politics. So back to who am I going to vote for? Which party? Now, you guys already know that I don't affiliate with either party. I'm an independent. I try to keep myself open to be able to make a sound decision on who would be the best candidate to vote for, if anybody at all. And speaking of candidates, there are jobs out here that if they have, let's say, 20 applicants to interview, and they interview all 20 applicants, and none of those applicants fit the criteria of what the company is looking for, that company might be like, you know what, we're not hiring none of these people. And then they'll continue to have the now hiring sign on the door, or they'll continue to have the one ad on Indeed or whatever for more applicants to apply. Because maybe the 20 applicants that they called and they interviewed, none of them fit the criteria of what the company was looking for. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to most offices, whether it be local, state, or federal, in most cases, you only got a choice of two parties, Republican or Democrat. Sometimes they might have a third party, Sometimes you have a third party, but most times only two parties. Now, honestly, I think in order to give these politicians a good run for the money and to give the American people a more of a advantage when it comes to our vote, I think there ought to be a minimum of four parties. But that's my opinion, though. But anyways, the reason why you guys haven't really heard me criticize the Democrat Party a whole lot recently. Now, granted, I've gave a lot of cues on this channel about how I feel about the Democrat Party without directly saying it, without putting out anybody's name on the Democrat side. So I did give you guys some clues, but recently I haven't really. I mean, despite some of the ridiculousness that's been coming out of Harris's mouth, I haven't really criticized her or said anything, and I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why I haven't criticized Harris is it because I'm gonna vote Democrat? Is it because I'm disappointed in the Republican Party, so now I'm gonna switch over and vote Democrat? If that's what you guys are thinking, you guys are dead wrong. I'm not voting Democrat at all. Now, I refrained from saying that on this channel, but it is what it is. I hear other content creators tell people who they're gonna vote for and who they're gonna support. They still got their channel up. Their videos are still getting decent views. They're still making, I'm assuming, decent money. So if they can voice who they're gonna vote for or who they're not gonna vote for, I'm doing the same thing. So if I'm gonna vote Democrat, not a chance in hell. Which is the reason why I have not been criticizing Harris for some of the craziness that's been coming out of her mouth recently. Because, kind of like my example about the potential candidate that a employer might be looking to hire and they might like, so they give a little bit of constructive criticism and guidance to help that person along the way a little bit. I mean, like, I've made a conscious decision a long time ago to not ever vote Democrat on any level. I'm not voting Democrat locally. I'm not voting. I would say the chances of me voting Democrat on any level of politics, whether it be local, state, or federal, is very low. Because for the most part, the policies of the Democrat Party do not align with my core values. I'm not saying the Republicans are perfect because they're not perfect either. And like I told you guys a minute ago, I have no problem sitting down and voting for nobody at all. Now I will say the policies of the Republican Party do align with my values more than the policies on the Democrat Party does. But even though that may be the case for me, that doesn't mean that I'm going to automatically vote Republican. Because there might be something else that a politician on the Republican side might say or do, and I don't agree with it. And if it's something that I find to be significant, I may not vote at all. I'll just withhold my vote. So, who am I going to vote for? Well, at this point, you guys at least have an idea of who I'm going to vote for. Maybe you don't. Well, you know I'm not going to vote for the Democrat Party. So you're thinking, okay, well, if I'm not voting for a Democrat Party, that means I'm voting for a Republican. Well, again, you're wrong. I might vote Republican, but then again, if I don't vote for the Republican Party, I'll vote for, as they say, I'll vote for the couch. Well, in my case, I don't have a couch, so I guess I'll vote for my computer chair. So for me, for 2024, for me, it's either going to be Trump or the computer chair. So if you guys have been wondering who the heck I'm going to vote for, now you guys know. My two choices will be Trump or the computer chair. Because unlike other people out here, I don't vote based on any type of identity. I vote based on policies. Now, if you guys want to know why it is that I refuse to vote Democrat, I'm going to tell you right now. And nothing is in any particular order here. Now, I'm not a political channel, so to speak. I mean, for those of you that have been watching me for a while, I've started, initially I was a traveling channel, but as soon as I made that video, everybody should prepare for homelessness. That video kind of took the channel in a whole nother direction, and you guys appear to be more interested in my opinions about stuff than you guys are in my drive around videos. So, I guess anymore, this channel is, I guess anymore, this is a talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about channel. If it's a traveling channel, and it's also a talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about channel. I mean, these days, that's what this channel seems to be about, because that's what you guys like. And I look at YouTube as a business. I have fun doing YouTube. I love doing YouTube. I love putting out content, but I also look at it as a business because I do desire to make as much money off of it as humanly possible. So anyways, here are some of the reasons why I will not vote Democrat. And most likely I will never vote Democrat again in my life, unless something drastic changes in that party. Well, as some of you guys realize, I was adopted. I was adopted at age 5. So being that I was adopted, and I got that video on this channel, so if you're interested in my story, of my upcoming, I do got that video on this channel. I made that video a week ago, so feel free to go back and watch it. But that reason is one huge reason why I would not vote Democrat. You see, the Democrat Party, they believe in abortion. Me, I don't believe in abortion. I believe if a woman doesn't want to have a child, then she needs to tell her man to use contraceptives. There's even contraceptives out here for females too, so that's just where I stand on that. I don't believe in abortion. I'm sorry, I don't believe in it. Not at all. Now there are cases where, yeah, an abortion might be necessary. Now there are cases where, yeah, I do believe an abortion may be necessary, but I would say 9.5 times out of 10, an abortion is not necessary, and I just don't believe in it. Secondly, contrary to some common beliefs out here, a lot of people, especially people in the black community, there's still some of you guys that still are running around with that narrative that the Republican Party are racist, that Donald Trump is a racist, and you will never vote for a racist for president again. But the reality of the matter is, and again, I'm not saying the Republican Party are a bunch of angels. I'm not saying that at all. But the reality of the matter is, if you study the policies of the Democrat Party, and then you study the policies of the Republican Party, the Democrat Party are actually more racist than the Republican Party. And here's a little bit of history. The Democrat Party was the party that fought to keep people like myself on the plantation. It was actually the Republican Party that formed, and they fought to get people, like my ancestors, off of the plantation. And a lot, and a lot of resources that were actually owed to Black Americans. It was the Democrat Party that systematically had those resources taken out of the hands of Black America and put into the hands of other people that aren't even of this country. It was the Democrat Party that did that and still continues to do that, not the Republicans. And when it comes, and like I said a second ago, so yeah, like I said, when it comes to your policies that were passed by the Democrat Party are way more racist than the policies passed by the Republican Party. The only president that maybe you can argue that may have been as racist as your Democrat president, maybe President Reagan, who was a Republican. But I would say honestly, in modern times, I would say outside of Joe Biden, I would say the most racist president was actually President Clinton. I would say President Clinton was more racist than the two President Bushes put together. And again, that's not common belief, but that is the truth. And although a lot of people call Donald Trump a racist, or they want to call him a Nazi and all that type of stuff, my question to you guys is, what exactly has Donald Trump done that could be said to be racist? And during Donald Trump's presidency, when he was president, what policy or policies has he passed, or did he pass, that could said to be racist? And remember, racism is not about words. Racism is about resources. So remember that as you think about an answer to that question. Let's see what else I got here. And due to and another reason why I would never vote Democrat, most likely, is because I do not agree with open borders. I do not agree with putting people that are not from this country before people that are American citizens. I don't agree with that either. And there's some other stuff that the Democrat Party is doing which I don't agree with, which I'm not going to mention because if I do, I may get canceled. So I'll let you guys use your imagination on what some of those things could be. So, in a nutshell, I think you guys at this point have a healthy understanding of where I'm coming from and why. And I know I'm probably going to lose some of you if I haven't lost you already due to what I just said, but it is what it is. I don't want to lose nobody. I don't aim to lose anybody, but I understand that I cannot keep everybody happy on this channel. And I rather have people watch me that, that like what I say. Or even if they disagree, they can respectfully disagree. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's all I gotta say. We're about 25 minutes in, so I'm gonna leave it right here. So, as always, I thank you guys for tuning in and watching another episode of Andrew's Life. Stay blessed. I'll catch you guys on the next one.